slid all the audios down. We can go ahead and start with the video. Go ahead. We need new clips. That's what it is. We need new video. We need to go in and finish up on Ironforge Pub. TTP Pub. Ironforge TTP Pub. That's hard to say. But just to let everybody know, there's no alcoholic beverages in the park. The pint, half pint, and stuff is simulated to what would be just like a Western saloon serving sarsaparilla to give the impression that you're in an old Western saloon up to the bar ordering something. Similar here. Come in, you can have a pint, a half pint, or a shot, and it's not alcoholic beverage, so it's good enough for the children to participate. And the pub is more stands for public house. It's a place to meet and greet. So the alcohol is a part of it in most pubs, but it doesn't necessarily be the focal point. It's a social point of gathering together. Most public houses were a place where old villages and towns would come together, and everybody would have a way of voicing their opinion and choosing what the village was going to do and stuff. And this was either done in the pub or the church. A lot of that had a lot of influence on a community in the European communities. And it was similar to that when I was there for 4 years. The pub that we were a part of, that we would frequent, was just like that. It was a place to go, have a good time, meet friends and family, and just, it was, like I said, it was a public meeting place. It wasn't a tavern. And that's why Ironforge Pub is a public house for everybody. So just wanted to clear that up. I'm going to try something here. I got a recording going on the laptop while I'm recording here, so if I pause this will be sped up. There we go. Actually, there's no clips here. I don't know what I'm doing an audio track for. It's hard to do narration when there's nothing going on. So I tell you what, excuse me, I will do another pause here. We're going to go into the park. We're going to grab some more footage, bring some more video clips back into my Dropbox on my clipboard, on my laptop, and then we can bring some of that stuff into Share Factory and do some work on it there. I love Share Factory. They have some great transitions and stuff like that. The software on the laptop is basic. It's enough to produce something, and it's more than just grabbing a clip, throwing and posting it, and hopefully it works. This way I can edit it a little bit, and that's what I'm doing. Like I said, we need to finish the pub. Like I said, the pub, there's no alcohol involved in that. I just I don't want to give the impression that I'm trying to promote drinking. I'm not. It's just, I remember inns and stuff that in World of Warcraft were a part of the game, and the inns had beverages you could buy. You could get intoxicated as a character, where your vision is blurred and you kind of stumble around a little bit and your aim is off, but that was all part of the game. But that's for the adult content of the game. It's not meant for children. But though I suppose children do partake. I mean, you can't tell me some of the people in the game wasn't underage, so, but that's alright. I had some fun to play, met some great people. I was part of a guild, the Northern Lights. But that was my Tauren was from Thunder Bluff. That was Grizzle. I had a Night Elf too. Oh, I can't remember the Night Elf ones though. They're pretty cool. Mostly hunters. Didn't do much of the clerics. tried a couple of magic users. Then there's thief. I did a little bit with thieving, but I always kind of came back to the hunter and let other people do the upfront fighting. So when I ran through some dungeons and stuff like that, I was usually DPS and sit back and just keep shooting and make sure my pet was not on attack. That's one way to wipe out a party, send your pet by accident. It's happened. I've done it. Good thing I was with members of the my guild, so it wasn't so bad. But I got it chewed out. But it's all part of it. Okay, I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna need some new stuff. There's a little about Ironforge lore in there and stuff like that. Other people that have been to Ironforge kind of know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put some kegs in here. We're gonna finish this thing up, and I will be back. Okay, let's put a pause. Pause there. Okay, pause. Okay, and we'll are you recording? Okay, so I'm in the clipboard. I had to straighten a lot of the clipboard out. I had a lot of autosaves in there that I wasn't sure what they were, so I had to go through and check them. If it was stuff I've been working on before, that I erased them. So, and I've got the clipboard up to date. The park is up to date. We have the harbor in the park. We also have a new building. We put in Ironforge TTB pub. Ironforge TTB pub. To the Brim. Maybe I should just start saying to the Brim and just leave it so the TTB, that's what it stands for, to the Brim. So it'll be Ironforge to the Brim pub. I like that. That works. I put the menu for one place, so there's a pint. You can get a half pint, or you can get a super shot. Now, just to make everything clear, there's no alcohol in the park, so it's all simulated. It's like when, as a kid, we went to some of these parks, and they had like a simulated western town, and every town has a saloon. So what do you do when you go into a saloon? You belly up to the bar, and you order a sarsaparilla, because they don't have alcohol, because it's an actual family park, and they don't serve alcohol in that park. So it was, maybe they did, I don't know. Maybe the adults were drinking, but they didn't say anything. There's no alcohol in this park. I'm not gonna promote drinking, and it's got to be kid friendly. Even though the videos and stuff I'm making, I post them as didn't make them for the children, because sometimes there's swearing and cussing in there. And like I said, sometimes a reference to drinking and smoking sometimes comes through. As the adults, we talk about, we have some of that stuff, but I try to keep it as PG as possible. Try not to use a lot of cuss words. Sometimes they come out, but when I speed it up and it sounds like the prairie dog family's talking in the park, you can't even hear them making those cuss words. So I cover them up that way. But here I was working on Ironforge. The problem with this one was I had a problem hooking up the pathways. See, the old design I had just had a small archway. Can't use a small archway here because the pathway goes through the building and people walk through the building as opposed to standing on the path. So that's why I got the wide arch there. I got the single path going into there, and then I cover that up with like a brick floor, so you can't see that. But that's the only place that the guest can go, is where that path is. But it's underneath, so I have a path going to each facility, plus the bathroom. So there's a bathroom inside the building. There's a a pub, plus there's a Mr. Beef for hamburgers, so you can get something to drink. You get some food. Goldshire has donuts and coffee. Goldshire, Ogomar has ribs, and I don't know. They didn't have nothing to drink there, but you could go to Crossroads and get some water, or you could go to Stormwind and get a soda. So there's, I just bring a lot of stuff that Grizzle and Taz have been through, and kind of introducing me to the park, using him as part of the franchise theme. And like I said, I started out in WoW, and WoW had all the different little villages and towns and stuff, and each one had their own. Like Ogomar was the Horde, um, Crossroads, the Horde, Stormwind, Alliance, Ironforge, Alliance, and I was in all of them. Depending upon if I was running my Alliance characters or running the Horde characters. There was a couple of times I did take Grizz. Grizz did go to Stormwind. There's a quest you do where once you get a high enough level back then, the guards won't mess with you. Well, they'll chase you, but they can't do nothing to you because you're high enough level. So if you make the run through, then you run down into the barracks where it's safe territory, then they can't get to you. And then there's quests in that dungeon down there that you do, and that's one of those like a quest for the Horde to actually actually go to Stormwind. I think there's something similar for Alliance doing Ogomar. There's a couple quests there too. You can run into Ogomar, and then just like the barracks in Stormwind, just the same thing with Ogomar. You run because a lot of the scenarios are fairly similar on both sides. They just so there's a barracks quest over in Stormwind for the Horde, and then in Ogomar there's a barracks quest for the Alliance. So it works out that way. These they're actually dungeons is what they are, and to get to the dungeons you have to run through the cities, and if you're not a high enough level you can't make it through to get to where that dungeon is, something like that if I remember correctly. But if I'm not mistaken though, if you have a party member get there or a guild member, they can teleport you if they have the ability. So that's another way to get into Stormwind without having to run through all the guards. But it's fun. It's like I said, it's kind of neat. And you hit a couple of the guards and they start chasing you. And some they can take you out, but for the most part, if you're high enough level, they can't touch you. And then you can just let the pet go and have fun. But like I said, it's usually just a straight run into there. But that was a while ago. So I got the building built. Like I said, there's 2 facilities in here plus the bathroom. I've got the pathways going up to each one. I got it all fixed up, so now I just put Mr. Beef on the outside. I'm creating his little facility there. There's a hot spot there where I have him assigned. So he'll sit there and he'll do his show, and then he'll attract his guests to his audience. I have this other Mr. Beef. He's on free roam, so he'll be roaming around the park telling people about Ironforge and the Mr. Beef burgers there at the Ironforge. Oh, I can imagine a dwarf. They could eat quite a bit of beef burgers. I know I could. Yep. I'd have no trouble eating 2 or 3 of those. Yep. But that's what I was doing there. Alright, put in some new transition, cut, paste, and put it in the can and post it. Thank you for watching. The other side of the audio track from ELA Studio and Soundfield at an OelGrez. Thank you for watching.